Whoa, what's going the hell on? Today is Toasted Tuesday. However, when you watch this, she'll be Wasted Wednesday. I'm doing a review of me Ol'Durty Blonde. Ain't she purty? Now, it's an interesting one because I've made my blonde many times, but this time I upped the, believe the crystal from 15 to 40. So instead of looking like a blonde, she now looks like a golden, which is, I like that. I like it. I like it a lot. Oh, dirty blonde. I'm cooking some chicken too. Getting the chicken on. Now, she's only been in the keg 2 damn days, but I get thirsty. Been into it. I get into it yesterday after 1 day, and that was only 2 days, which I want to let it ride a little bit. I'm gonna, maybe, but I find it awful difficult to wait, man. Jeez. Hard. It's hard. It's a hard go. Anyhow, let me give you a little review. You can see it. She looks purty, purty, purty. Still needs some carbonation, although much better than yesterday, of course. I got her sitting at about actually 20 now. I let it ride at 30 psi, and then I dropped it to 20, maybe 18-ish. I'll drop her down now a little bit, back down to about 15. It is a freaking interesting beer. It is one of the lightest homebrews, and I don't think I'm going to be able to duplicate it, and I'll explain to you why, but it's one of the lightest homebrews I've ever tasted, or even craft beer for that matter. It's not watery, but it's a hell of a lot better than anything you'd ever buy in the store, but it leans towards, like, say, a Budweiser in Canada, an Alpine in taste. Like, it almost like I used rice or something in it. And I've been banging through my head, what the heck did I do that, because the typical blonde that I make is actually it's got a nice mouthfeel and fullness and all that stuff to it. And this is delicious. It only came in at 3.5, usually comes in at about 4.8. Today I've actually been testing it, see if I can actually get a little buzz off it. So I'm on my 5th, and yep, she works, starting to get there a little bit, starting to feel the old get up and go. How's my chicken coming? She looking good. She looking real good. So what did I do? What have I come to? Why do I think the beer has changed in its complexity? What I think is a couple things. First of all, the grains. It was 2-row. They were about 2 to 3 months old. And I had my brew shop, supply shop. I had them crush them for me, milled them, and I've read that can affect it. And that was, let me see, I used 8 pounds in this. Then I was supposed to use 12 ounces of white flaked wheat. I used 11. That's, in the overall, what is that, like, I think it might be 8% of the whole grain bill, but might have affected it, that little bit. The other thing was that the white flaked wheat was quite old, probably 4 to 5 months old. It had already been opened because I used some of the bag of that grain in another brew. So, I don't think it got clumped up in the brewing, when I doughed in. I don't think that happened because I usually stir the hell out of it. But something happened that the ABV dropped about, what? It was supposed to be 4.8, 4.9. It dropped down to about 3.5, so that's significant. And it's got a lighter taste. But it's surprising. I'll never be able to duplicate. And I would actually like to, because it's definitely a lawnmower beer. You could crank back a shit ton of these, have a nice time, and my wife really enjoys it. Look at the head still staying on it. I've been yammering on for. Let me have a swig. As Craig would say, get it in ya. Yeah. So I really like it. But it's like a light homebrew. Hey, you can get like Bud Light. That's kind of like what it is. It's like a light blonde ale. Light Ol'Durty Blonde Ale. That's what I get, guys. I don't know what the heck I'm brewing this weekend. I got to come up with something. You got any suggestions, shoot them at me. If you got any recipes you want the big Robb to give a go, I'm more than happy to do that. I've got two of Craig's. Check out Craig. If you haven't checked out Craig, I freaking love him. He's hilarious. YouTube, Craig Neuberger. She's a German name. I don't even want to try to spell it, man. I brutalize it. Neuberger, something like that. Google that and YouTube. Follow him. I do a few of his recipes. He's really got it down. So I've got his Kolsch, but he likes the ABV. It won't be a 3.5. I got two of them on the go. One of them is a Kolsch 7.6%. That's insane. Highest ABV in a Kolsch ever. And the other one is the Oktoberfest, which I also think is in the 7s. I forget. Anyway, so I'll be cold crashing the Kolsch probably tomorrow. She's just about done all her bubbling, so we're gonna cold crash for a couple days. I may keg her up. So let me see. Today's what, Tuesday? I might be doing the review Saturday, Craig. You never know, man. I get awful thirsty, especially if I continue to go through these some bitches. And then the Oktoberfest, that won't be till next weekend. So we got another week or so of that. So I got to brew something this week though. Got to get my brew on. So if you got any suggestions, let the big Rob know. That's what I got, guys. Wherever you are watching, if you're on YouTube, like, subscribe, you know, that usual jazz. If you're on Facebook watching it, join my Facebook group, Make Beer Easy. And also head over to my blog, makebeereasy.com. Get on my newsletter. I send out all kinds of great, insightful tidbits of brewing information. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Big Rob is out.